back to another video. So we are going to read the Chocomon, or we are going to be reading chapter 3 and chapter 4 today. So here we should be on chapter 3. If you guys are behind, you guys can go watch my first video, which had chapter 1 and chapter 2 in it. This has chapter 3 and chapter 4. Okay. Green Blobs of Fate. The bell rang recess. I strolled down the hall to Billy's classroom. Screaming, first graders trembled over each other, racing out the door towards the playground. They were headed for swings and slides. Those carefree kids. I had bigger bugs to fry. I had to get a look at Billy's desk. It could hold a clue to his disappearance or a wad of forgotten homework and moldy socks. Only a true detective could tell. I hid behind a raspberry bush and waited for the teacher to leave. There she was, the great horned toad, Miss Toland, old toady who had survived in her class. Years ago, kids used to whisper that you rolled in the vats of Jell-O before the cafeteria served them. Nothing was ever proved, but you couldn't help wondering about the green blobs on her dress. "Come along, you little runt," said Miss Toland to his straggling first grader. "Yes, teacher, I'm coming." The little Stew fumbled with his book bag. But he wasn't moving fast enough, I guess. She gave him a friendly punch to speed him up. The kid sailed between two of the posts that lined the covered walkway. Field goal. Sooner or later, he would learn never stand between a teacher and her Jell-O. Old Toady trundled off. I eased towards the door with a wary eye on Miss Toland. Just as I reached for the doorknob, she stopped, dead in her tracks, and turned around. Flip zip! I barely had time to scramble up the wall outside. Sometimes it pays to be a lizard. Old Toady waddled back to the classroom like a duck on a hot day. She locked the door, then made tracks towards the cafeteria. I slithered down the wall and tried the doorknob. Locked tight. Glancing up and down the hallway, I slipped the point of my toe into the keyhole and wiggled it around. I tried the doorknob again. This time the lock numbers clicked. On my tail. Ouch, but the doorknob turned. I slipped inside and eyeballed the dark classroom. It hadn't changed much in these years since I'd been there. It still smelled of chalk and fear and stale graham crackers. I looked out across the rows of pink plastic desks. Using my incredible powers of dedication, I discovered Billy's desk. It was the only one with the name tag that read Billy. I slid into the seat and checked again to make sure I was alone. I only had a few minutes to search before old Toady returned. So far, so good. I opened the desk. Creak. I held my breath. Had someone heard? I glanced at the windows, but I was alone. I looked into the desk. Yuck! Sitting on a stack of paper was a sandwich so old even the cafeteria wouldn't serve it. It looked like a science project in the wonders of mold. I pushed it aside with a pencil. Underneath was a crayon drawing of mutant people, or maybe they're just broccoli. Whatever Billy was up to, it sure wasn't art lessons. I dug deeper into the mess. A rubber band gun, a box of nails, a hangman's noose, a photo of the Loch Ness monster. Nothing suspicious here. Wait a minute. I turned back to the drawing. It showed a small creature with a tail, beating up a big creature. A gingerous blob in the back was saying, my hero, in a word balloon. The creatures was labeled Herman. The blob was called Shirley, and the small creature name was me. Maybe Billy was planning to rumble with Herman, but why would he try to beat up that big lug? Picking a fight with a Gila monster was about as smart as playing hopscotch on a freeway. And Herman was no ordinary Gila monster. After all, he's been booted off the football team for biting a referee's ear and throwing him into the bleachers. How many sixth graders could say that? I stuck my nose back into Billy's desk. I had to find out more. Shirley had a stunk by pile with my name on it. If only I could crack this case. I dug deeper. I just spotted something that looked like a map when a familiar sound sent chills down my tail. Okay. So, chapter 4, our last chapter for today. Chapter 4, Towed Away. Chester Gecko. I hate when the teachers use my full names. I mean Miss Toden, I said. What a pleasure. Miss Toden walked through the doors and over to our desk. She sneered at me. Returning to the scene of the crime, I perked up. What crime? Your grades in my class, mister. You are the worst students I ever had, and I had quite a few. Flowery won't work with me, I said. It's been tried. Miss Toad picked up the heavy ruler from her desk and stroked it. My knuckles got nervous, remembering old times. So, what are you doing back here? She asked. Taking William's place, or do you want to make up some of that homework you never finished? I'm on a case under cover of the desktop. I slid the map into my pocket. Maybe you can help me. Why should I? Miss Toad gave me her dead eye stare. The one that makes first graders faint. But not me. I was big enough. I was big, tough, fourth grader private eye. Why should you? Because, I said, I could tell somebody about a certain teacher relationship with a certain cool green dessert. I stood beside the desk. Oh, totally blinked. Her long tongue sneaked out of the corner of her mouth and tied up some green blobs on her upper lip. If they weren't Jell-O, I didn't want to know what they were. Okay, suppose I do want to help you, she said. What do you want to know? When was the last time you saw Billy? Yesterday, right after school. And what was he doing? Miss Toad used the ruler to scratch one of her many warts. Her bug eyes wandered. She had a face that only a mother could love. And horny toads, mothers abandoned them at birth. William was taking that boy, her man, and one of the other football players. Which one? All those hedgehogs looks alike to me, she said, croaked loudly. I think maybe it was Brick. Did you hear what they were saying? Miss Toad slapped her ruler down on the desk. What am I, a tape recorder? Enough questions. You're a hotshot detective. You find out. I smiled sway and edged towards the door. Jell-O, I sang. Jell-O, I sang. She blinked again. Blackmail is many sprinter. One last question, I said. Did you get a excuse from Billy's mom today? Ultraman snatched a piece of paper off her desk and crumbled it in her scaly fist. Yes, a little rap on it. And can you take comfort in his Chester? William's mom spells almost as badly as you do. She tossed the paper at my face, purely on reflex. I caught the word with my tongue. Yuck, perfume paper. Curious fourth graders peeked through the door. First graders peeked through the door. Have a nice day, Chester, Miss Toad growled. Class dismissed. I strolled out the door. The first graders melted away. Not you little rodents, old Toadie roared. She raised her ruler like a star. Get your tails in here. Ah, school days, dear old golden rule days. I missed first grade like a case of the mumps. Okay, well, that was chapter 4. We are now on chapter 5, and then we'll read to chapter 6. So I hope y'all have a great day. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.